Hi, everyone. It's Plastic EP coming in from Melbourne, Australia. Let me tell you, it's not every day we get a VIP, but Chris Hummel, he's a VIP. You know why? Because he's lead singer and guitarist of the Dreamboats. So let me tell you, I found the Dreamboats on the net by accident. And once I found out about them, I just found out how cool these guys are. And they're from Canada, but now they're based in LA. And I welcome you to the show. Chris, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
No worry, anytime. Now, I'm going to ask you, I saw your video, In Spite of All Danger, and I just thought it was fantastic the way you played and executed that song, because that's one of their earliest songs that they recorded on the 78 shellac, right? And I mean, to hear that now done as a full song, to me, it's totally amazing, Chris.
Thank you so much. I love that song.
Yeah, and we're going to play that right now. Let's have a look at the video.
In spite of all the danger, in spite of all that may be, I'll do anything for you, anything you want me to. True to me. In spite of all the heartache that you may cause me, I'll do anything for you, anything you want me to. Be true to me. I'll look after you like I've never done before. I'll keep all the others from knocking at your door. In spite of all the danger, in spite of all that may be, I'll do anything for you, anything you want me to. Be true to me. I'll do anything for you, anything you want me to, if you'll be true to me.
Now, Chris, I want to find out how the Dreamboats got together. How did you guys get together? Have you got any relatives in the band, or are you all just all musically talented from Canada? Just tell me how this came about.
I love this question and definitely have the answer for it. I think the main reason we came together in many ways was a little bit of a love for the Beatles, and I'll explain why. We all worked at the music store together. I mean, a few of us worked at a music store together. A person I worked with had this other band he played with, and that consisted and his name was Mike. We had Roberto in the band, and the current drummer of the Dreamboats right now, the better half of the Dreamboats, is Johnny on drums. And we decided to all get together one day and play and perform or just rent out a jam space and just start playing. And one thing that was really cool was we had this common ground because we all owned this Beatles chord book that we purchased from the music store that we worked at. And if you had a general idea of a Beatles song, you'd be able to read the lyrics, and the chord boxes fell right underneath every syllable of the song. So if you had an idea of any of these Beatles songs, so together we'd be like, do you know this song? Do you know this song? And we'd all know this song, and we put this song on and we jam along, and it all just was a chemistry thing right off the hop on the first day. And then this was back in 2009. And then right after the first jam, it was just one of these beautiful days. It's almost like feeling like a carefree kid playing rock and roll music around that time. And I finished the jam. The following day, I called up Johnny on the drums, and I said, Johnny, I have this idea, because I've been a 50s and 60s kid my whole life, and I loved it, and especially influenced by La Bamba, the movie growing up, all those heavy 50s and 60s biopics coming up through the 90s as well. Specifically La Bamba and Jerry Lee Lewis's Great Balls of Fire. And so I called up Johnny, and I had this idea. I was like, I want to play shows where we're playing covers. We dress up all matching the same. We get the starlight lamp going on. We get slow dances going. We get high energy rock. And he was just all about it. And the funny thing is, it's that phone call happened in 2009. After that phone call, I haven't been separated from him since. We've been a band together for over 13 years. And the funny thing is, I've only met him once before that phone call.
Now, I've got to tell you, I was lucky enough to interview Chris Montez. Now, he loves Richie Valens. But Chris Montez, I don't know if you know, He was the star attraction. He toured England and he was number one on the bill in 1963 in the UK. And guess what? A band called the Beatles were the support act. Did you know that?
Of course. Yeah, I know. It's amazing, knowing of artists that that were there, and the Beatles were like this humble band starting up. But the Beatles didn't, in my opinion, didn't have like the quickest rise. They were under good management. They were at the right place at the right time, and everyone loved the style that they were writing, and they just kind of blew up. And the funny thing is too, I'm in Palm Springs right now, and there's this Palm Springs legend by the name of Trini Lopez, and Trini Lopez was like it was in the, he was affiliated with also the Rat Pack and whatnot. And right now I am performing and playing as Trini Lopez in a musical that the Gan Band is putting out. They just produced this film and this album, and it's on like Amazon Prime. You can watch this film online with paid subscription. And it's so crazy because there's clips in this movie, in this documentary, where Trini is talking about the Beatles, how the Beatles were opening for him at the time too. And there's clips of like American like reporters asking Trini, how do you think America's going to like, the Beatles? And Trini's like, yeah, they're not going to like them. They're nothing that kind of like attitude like that a little bit, and you've never known, there are 4 kids from Liverpool, you know what I mean? Like, and who knew that, they're going to get on Ed Sullivan and just all of a sudden just change everyone's life. You know what I mean? It was pretty crazy seeing that. And exactly, just going back to the point of just knowing of artists that have opened for the Beatles. It's a really cool thing, and definitely a highlight of their careers, I can imagine. Yeah.
Now I've got to say with Trini Lopez, I want you to see a video, right, called Route 66. He does one of the greatest versions of that song. And as I said, let's see that now.
Let's do it. Trini's a legend.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take a highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66.
66.
Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, I said get your kicks on Route 66. 66.
Tell me more about the Dreamboats. I've looked at your calendar, right? It's full up with dates, let's say February, March, and forever. So, I mean, what's coming up? What's some of these favorite live venues you're going to be playing?
Well, we've been doing a nice presence in Palm Springs. It's a nice pocket city, mid-century type homes, and people are all about mid-century, like time capsule. The Rat Pack rolled around here. The Essence is still here and alive and well in Palm Springs. We're playing a few shows here. We're playing some casinos, some private dates, club dates in the middle of town. There's this wicked venue called Oscars that treats us really well, and we get good turnouts over there. Other than that, we're playing more in like the Pasadena, in the Orange County area, to like swing dance community and vintage retro community, type like people and pages, and they come into the shows. They're dressed in all dressed up, all decked out, swinging around, dancing around. Like it's an amazing scene over here in the LA area and in the Orange County area. And we played gigs like at the Goldfish, some at the Hangar 24. These are like kind of like venues, like I said, that have that are known to have like good retro acts, and we go over really well in these types of dances because we play danceable music, and we just keep the party going. We play over 2 hours worth of music of our originals, as well as the covers that we know that people like to dance to. So these are pretty much what's on the horizon for us in the next few months. But on top of that, we're going to be releasing a new EP That, you know, our influences are written so much on our sleeves, and we're bringing it forward as much as we can with modern production. But those influences, you'll hear our songs and you'll be like, okay, I hear a little bit of this and this, I hear a lot of that and that, you know, and it's all like, you know, our favorite genre. It was like 50s and 60s. One of the new songs we just wrote called Sweet Nothings has a big kind of Beatles influence type of like chord progressions and like and little stops, and you know, it's the kind of stuff that we love doing, and we're really looking forward within the next few months of pushing this forward in combination of releases and these shows that you're mentioning.
Now, you also got to tell me everybody in the band and what instrument they play. Introduce the band to the world.
Awesome. So right now, our current lineup, solidified, is John Marco Fiacconi, Johnny G Wiz. He's on the drums, does vocals. My name is Richie Hummins. Chris Hummel's my real name, but my stage name is Richie Hummins, and I do lead vocals and guitar. We have Justin Zoltek that plays bass and just sings a couple songs, but he's just an animal on stage. We play with a couple different people, especially when we're back in Canada. We play with a specific lineup. When we're here in the States, we play with like a specific lineup. Right now, we have a friend of ours that's visiting and playing a couple gigs with us just for fun. He wants to come to California, like come play. Our friend Tally Ferrero, who's in a band called Ferrero back in Toronto, and you got to check those guys out online. And other than that, on lead sax, we play with the lead saxophonist. This guy is the best. I swear to you, he's the best saxophone player in all of California, man. His name's Kyle O'Donnell. You got to check this guy out. He's so nasty, and like he sets the bar so high for everyone. And it's just like, so these are just the players that we're playing with these days. Benjamin Thomas is another great lead guitarist that we play with. And he's been doing some of the leads on some of our original tracks. And we've been collaborating that way. But these are a mixture of some of the players that we play with when we play these live gigs. Sometimes we play a 4-piece. There's been a couple times if it's in the budget, we'll have a 5-piece, and it just adds to this wall of sound. And these are the killers that we're playing with these days for sure.
How cool are the corporate gigs you do? I reckon that would be a buzz.
It's nice when you get the paycheck. You know what I mean? What I like about corporate gigs though is the fact that like we don't have to promote them. You know what I mean? And for the most part, you know, people are coming in there and they're just, they, you know, have a good time. They're expecting to have a good time. They hear the band. There's no pressure in that regard, other than the fact that we just got to make sure we deliver the songs and the materials as good as we can do it. And for the most part, it usually goes over pretty well. So yeah, we're loving that. You know, like, as much as I do love like the clubs, like my heart is in the clubs. I love getting sweaty. I love sweating on people right in front of my face. I love getting like ridiculous. But you know, there's gigs that we do that we're fortunate enough that we can have a parallel lane to the original music where we can actually get some decent paying like corporate gigs, some, you know, the private gigs, wedding gigs. We can do all this kind of stuff and just cater to whoever wants to hear it. And it's been fun. And we've been full-time musicians for a decent amount of time here, definitely for, you know, close to a decade. So it's been nice. Yeah,
but what about weddings? You get asked to do a lot of weddings, I reckon, too.
Oh, yeah.
You get asked to do everything. Just tell me what it's like, man.
I love weddings. I love it because when it comes to weddings, love is in the air. Like, to me, the weddings are a means to an end, of course. But, like, you know, I mean, it's very flattering when people want you to be there and perform for them on the most important day of their life. You know what I mean? And because of that, I don't take it lightly. You know what I mean? And regardless of this is my be all end all, if anyone ever asks and they're paying good money and doing these things, I'll bring you my best version of 50s and 60s music that I'll do. I'll make sure everyone in the crowd, to the best of my ability, is enjoying it, dancing and watching the show. If you're not dancing, you're going to be watching. And that's what I try to aim for, you know? Yeah.
And then, of course, doing wedding gigs, you get requests. That's the best part because you don't know what they're going to ask you.
If I can do them, I'll do them. But for the most part, like I never, it's hard for me to take, like every song that I learn is formatted with, like, you know, we go do all the harmonies, we do the dance moves for every song. So it's not like you can just kind of throw songs in there sometimes, but we have such an extensive set list that we don't play all these songs, of course. But if we know the song, we're going to play it for you. We like to cater and make people happy if we know it, for sure.
Now, Chris, I'm going to ask you a question, right? Do you get a lot of requests for the song Volare at weddings?
No. That must be in Australia. That's
No. That's not Australia. Bobby Rydell did that song. That's why.
Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, Bobby Rydell's also, of course, just as far as like classic wedding song requests, you get a lot of Elvis. You know what I mean? Like, You can't go wrong with everyone knows Elvis. You know what I mean? They love Can't Help Falling in Love. I can't tell you how many people requested Can't Help Falling in Love be their first song. And that's pressure too. Playing someone's like first song while they're dancing to it, like, you can't mess this up. You know,
I got to say, at my wedding, I've been married 37 years, right? And it was Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis.
There you go, right? That's it. I proved my point.
No, that's right. I'm telling you the truth. I've been married 37 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's great. You're a rare breed. It doesn't happen that much anymore.
You guys have got your own sound, and that's what's great about it. It's like a freshness. Do you know what I mean? You guys are very, very talented.
Thank you.
That's what comes across in the videos.
Thank you, Plastic. I appreciate that. That's
seriously. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. You know, it's not like you guys are ugly or something. You know what I mean? You're looking at something great. I mean, you're married, aren't you?
No, I mean, I got my partner over here. We got.
Yeah, but I got to say, you must have a lot of fans too of the band. Yeah. You must have a lot.
Yeah, you get a wide variety of appreciation. Some you can do without.
I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just giving you the example with the Beatles. John Lennon was married, but they didn't want to talk about it because you know it didn't help the look of the band. You know what I mean?
Didn't help the image. It didn't help with the image out of wedlock or anything like.
No, but I mean, you're on the right track. And as I said, how cool is it when you're doing this variety of shows and like you can do it all? I just think the fact that you do it all, whether it be we're the group, we do our own stuff, we're original, we do rock and roll, we do whatever you want. We can do corporate, we can do concerts, we can do whatever you like. I mean, just having that flexibility, that's where you want to be at. That's what really makes it, doesn't it?
For goodness sake.
just got to a point where, like, in the beginning, you know, there's a lot of pressure, you know, especially in the early stages where you're like, you have to play for 45 to 50 minutes, these sets 3 times through the night. It's like, you have to know so many songs. You got to be so on top of your like performance game that like as soon as you get to like a corporate thing or like a concert, they're like, oh, you have to play 60 minutes or you have to play 240 minutes. Like, all right, you're making it too easy. You know what I mean? So it's like when you set that foundation at a young like stage in your career, you know, nothing really requires that much later on. The higher you get up the ladder, you're not required to do that. So sometimes it's weird because we have this obligation to feel like we just got to keep fucking pumping songs at you to keep you dancing. So sometimes like, no, it's okay. We're here for the show. Calm down, boys. But we're such an energetic band that's just like what we do and how we do it. And like, if I'm not soaked by the end of my set, if I can't take my shirt and wring it out, I'm not doing my job. And that's just the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Like everyone that will say, you know, I'm not the best guitarist, I'm not the best singer, I'm not whatever this, but like one thing is for sure, you're gonna know that we give it. You're gonna know that I gave it. You know what I mean? So it's there's a lot of things that come with like eventually just being able to kind of like, you know what, I've been through so many experiences. Now I get to play a wedding or I get to play one set at a corporate thing. Now I know exactly what I want to do and what's going to deliver at the highest capacity. And we're just going to go for that. And that's how it's been over like, the past, 5-6 years when things have been kind of coming up, I guess you could say, career wise. Yeah.
Now, how did you come up with the name, the Dreamboats?
I came up with there's this thing between the drummer and I where he thinks he's convinced that he came up with the name. I tell him no, I came up with the name, and it's just this battle where he thinks that he came up and I think. Now, I know where I thought of the name the Dreamboats, and that was from the scene in Back to the Future where Marty McFly was rounding the corner with his skateboard when Biff and his crew were chasing him down around town, and then Marty McFly's mom turns around and says to her friend, "Isn't he a dreamboat?" And I thought to myself, Johnny Be Good. I love that scene. A lot of the reasons why this band also started too was like in the open mics used to play Johnny Be Good as our closer all the time, or and just like everyone used to just lose their minds. So it kind of came from that in a way of like our influences from Back to the Future, and specifically that scene where Marty McFly's mom turns around and says, "Isn't he a dreamboat?"
That's great. Now I'm just saying, with the band, right? I'm just saying your music base now is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I want you to tell me all the links, right? Where you are all on social media so that this new generation of Beatle fans and people out there can find you. Like I've got a son that's 25 years old, as I said, and I told him about you and he started listening to the songs and I said, go to YouTube and hear In Spite of All the Danger, and he was blown away. He said, these guys are great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And like, and that was a duo. That was between Johnny and I. We love playing the full band. Our main band is like a 4-piece that we like to do. And Johnny and I have just been trying to keep busy with content and whatnot. But to find us, because we're doing a lot of content, we live with our videographer. We flew him from Toronto to live with us to make nothing but videos with us all day, every day. So if you want to check out what we've been up to, you can check us out on YouTube. We have a docu-series called Keep It Dreamy. We are in the second season of that docu-series, and it's documenting our whole trip from 4 Mississauga boys all the way in Canada, making their way all the way down to LA, trying to make this happen, trying to live the dream day in, day out, music, experiences, downfalls, great points, you know what I mean? Positives, so there's a lot of mixture in the content that we have. This docu-series in particular, though, if you really want to know who we are, what we're doing, what we're about, then definitely check it out. It's called Keep It Dreamy, and just search that under our page, the Dreamboats on YouTube. Another thing you can do, we're heavy on Instagram. Check us out on Instagram at the Dreamboats on Instagram, and we're posting constantly on that as well. We have a new video that we're going to be releasing soon for one of the songs off our last EP. It's called Lights Down Low, and we're really looking forward to that. Other than that, we're on Facebook as well. You can get us on Facebook. We got a nice following on Facebook. Like us on that, and feel free to comment and reach out to us. And we have a Discord group, but that was we're not as active on that one. If I can say anything, get us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You'll be fine. You'll know what's up with us. That's amazing. You guys are everywhere. I want to say Plastic EP is a big fan, right? And I'm glad that I found the Dreamboats without anybody's help.
and I knew you were out there. And as I said, I've been to your page. I've checked out videos, and I like these videos you do sometimes in-house where you got someone speaking and he just talks about things on social media. I think it's great. I mean,
thank you so much.
You know, where you guys are, I think your career is like, it can be endless. Do you know what I mean? There isn't anything you guys can't do. And that's my personal opinion.
Thank you. Thank you. We're trying to, I don't think, I'm at a point right now where like, I don't want anyone ever, including myself, to ever look back at this whole scenario and just be like, you know, you didn't try, you know, you didn't go for it. You didn't believe in yourself. You know, there's a lot that came with coming here, you know, that uprooted a lot of our lives, whether it was like the effect of the pandemic to like just family life and like everything back home. And like, you know, we all own houses back home. We all, you know, some of us have children, some of us have, you know, other big responsibilities. And sometimes it's like, it's not easy being able to do this. You need support, you need belief in you. And like, you know, even plastic, even like the comments that you're saying right now, this is what makes us believe that we have a purpose here. You know what I mean? And why we should keep doing this. And, you know, and by you telling us, you know, of course, everyone puts their best face forward online, you know, but, you know, to have people believe in what you're doing and tell you that, and with the energy you're telling me, this is what keeps us going. This is what makes us like, feel like shit happens on a daily basis, disasters of the day. You know, you almost got to laugh it off because people believe in you. And you just got to keep trucking forward. And like, it's almost like a disservice at this point if we try to, you know, take it anything less than what we can really do, you know. So it feels good. So thanks so much for your kind words, Plastic Man. That means a lot.
You guys have got so much natural talent, right? That's what you got to understand. And I'm telling you, you got so much natural talent that it shows. It's like, you got to understand, in the 60s, they had a lot of artists. They wore the greatest clothes. They sang some of the songs. But I'm saying when it came to natural talent, some of those people didn't have talent. They relied on other things. Everyone's got their strong points. But what I'm trying to say is you guys have got the lot. Do you know what I mean? And the potential is unlimited and untapped. Do you know what I mean? That comes across clear as. It's like, for example, I started writing songs when I was 8. In 1981, I recorded songs. Now I know I got 2,400 original songs, but that didn't come from nowhere. That came from my natural drive. And I know that the first song I recorded on vinyl in 1981, that was like the first song I did at home. And we started as a punk band, Plastic EP and the Records. And I couldn't beat that first song. That first song was like, can I write a song? Am I good at writing a song? Until I recorded it, I didn't know. Right now, that song at home is up there with a song that I have at the start of all my shows called Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy. And I went to Los Angeles and I went to the Walk of the Stars and I filmed the video. And that's loosely based on a tribute to the Banana Splits. And when I interviewed that guy, Bingo, the actual guy that's in the Banana Splits, right? I said, have you heard of my song called Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy? I go, it's like a loose dedication to the Banana Splits in 1968. He goes, no. And I played it to him. You know what he said? And this is on the interview. He goes, 1968, he goes, Plastic, you nailed it. I mean, what more do I want? You don't know what's on the other side until you get feedback.
Honestly, writing songs are just so vulnerable, and so many different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Like members of this band just like to just write and just get it out there. It's like me. I like to write. I like to take my time. I like to massage it a bit. I like to really focus on it. There's just so many different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? As long as you're just happy in the process, and as long as you're not, as long as you're not getting haunted by the song at night, the way John Lennon used to, be saying, I can't sleep until this thing's written because the ideas, that's what's beautiful about songwriting. And I'm glad that you do it yourself and you know what it's like. And it's like putting your songs out there, your attachment to them. And it's like, it's a lot of vulnerability, and you can only hope that people are receptive to it the way you hope they are receptive to it, the way they see what you're trying to get across. And it's like, it's not easy, and it's very nerve-wracking. So definitely kudos to you for making it happen. And I got to check out more of your catalog as well. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, but I also got to say this for a lot of songwriters, right? And this is a good lesson for them. The thing is, you got to believe in yourself, okay? After you start recording songs, you put them out there. Me, I like spontaneity. I don't want perfection. That's just me. I know that, you know, before it used to be like, okay, I'm going to work on a song before I record it. Now it's like, I'll drive my car, 3 lines come into my head. I don't want any more. I want to do the song in the studio live. Like, it will come to me when I do it, right? That's just me now because I challenge myself. When you've been around, like, writing songs and you understand the structures of songs, like you learn the Beatles, right? You learn their structures. You learn like the Everly Brothers. You learn like Elvis. You learn all these artists, and you have this catalogue of structures of songs, and you know it inside and out. You know that all the songs won't be the same, but you know what you want to do. Then it becomes, I'm the artist, but am I doing the songs now for me? Am I doing the songs for the public? Why am I doing it? And there's always this conflict of, am I doing songs to please the public or am I doing songs to please me? You know yourself. That's what it is. Once you get over that, the only advice I've got to people is, when you write a song, have a clear head, have no obstacles in your head, and the song will come to you so freely that it just creates itself. When you put all these blockages in front of it, the true song doesn't come. That's my take on it.
I've worked with a couple of different songwriters here and there. Like, you know, like with everything in my life, I feel like when I've been into anything, I really dive my mind into it and I really put myself, like my whole heart into it. Songwriting has been something that has been only periodical, like kind of through my life. And I want to, this is the next thing in my life that I want to like really dig into as a phase and really become like great at it. You know what I mean? And working with different people that have so many different opinions on how you should write songs. For instance, like one guy that we know of that's in Canada that has like, you know, has like 50 gold, you know, #1, whatever it is. Like has tons of songs on the radio. He'll be like, what's your favorite music? And you'll be like, I like, you know, pop and, you know, and dance and Delta blues. And he'd be like, that's great. Who you're trying to cater to right now, you have to take all your stuff that you like and just put it completely aside. You got to look at what's on the charts and you got to start aiming towards what that sound is, that production, you know, this type of sound. They go, people don't like, you know, metaphorical lyrics anymore. They like situational lyrics now. They want you to almost like you're writing a storyboard through your every verse. It's not like you can get away with it in the 70s and more with like a 7-minute like epic. Like there's so many different things now that like if you want to have somewhat of a commercial success, you got to kind of play the game a bit. That's the battle between that even I'm going through right now with my management as well. It's just like, yeah, I want to be a household name. You know what I mean? Like we have to work with other people that have a really good idea of how to write charting songs and how to craft your ideas into it. And collaboration is a big thing as well. Or, you know, you do your projects that are like only for me. I don't give a shit if anyone likes these or they don't like these. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying? And everyone, that's what's so beautiful about music and songwriting is everyone will have a degree of where they want to take it and how far they want to take it and just whatever you feel comfortable with, take it there. And that's cool. You know what I mean?
Chris Hummel from the Dreamboats, check them out. They are an up-and-coming fantastic band. Do not miss it. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Classic.